When Sydney's Jewish community came under attack by two armed terrorists, one man saved lives with this extraordinary act of bravery. Moving towards the gunman, he disarms him, turns the weapon on the perpetrator, and defends innocent people. CNN affiliate 7 News has identified him as a Muslim Australian who was also wounded in the attack. The man's bravery juxtaposed with horror and suffering on the first night of Hanukkah being celebrated in Bondi with a party in the park called Hanukkah by the Sea.
Guys, I feel horrible. I have no husband. I don't know where is his body. Nobody can give me any answer. That's it.
Your husband was killed in the attack?
Yes.
What we saw yesterday was an act of pure evil, an act of anti-Semitism, an act of terrorism on our shores. This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community.
Bondi Beach, home to a large and vibrant Jewish community, has been the scene of previous incidents of anti-Semitic violence. Incidents which have sharply risen across Australia and other parts of the world since Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023.
It's one of the most joyous days of the calendar, and to think that people plotted to target this event, came there with automatic weapons and massacred people in cold blood, I can't believe it. I think it'll take a long time for us to recover from this.
One gunman on Sunday was shot and killed, another shot and wounded and now in police custody. Police identified a car linked to the dead shooter, containing multiple explosive devices, indicating a thought-out attack which stole innocent lives and the joy of the Hanukkah holiday. Angus Watson, CNN, at Sydney's Bondi Beach. The New South Wales Police bomb squad is behind me, working on a car that has several of these IEDs, these improvised explosive devices inside. The bomb squad, they're now trying to secure that, trying to make this place safe. But as you heard there in the police press conference, they cannot yet say whether this incident is over. This is an ongoing incident as the police work on that car linked to one of the perpetrators, full of explosive devices, multiple explosive devices in that car. You heard there that this was an attack on the Jewish community, one that the authorities have now labelled a terrorist incident, a terror attack on the Jewish community here in Bondi, which is it's a very strong Jewish community here in Bondi, a very strong, very proud Jewish community. Right up the street from here, there are several synagogues, and behind me in the park where people were attacked was a Hanukkah festival going on here, the first night of Hanukkah around the world being celebrated by Jewish people. There was an event here called Hanukkah by the Sea, and that was what was targeted by these two men with guns. You heard there as well officials talking about the videos that are going on social media right now. One extraordinary video that they're talking about where a man attacks the gunman, dispossesses him of his weapon, and then starts defending members of the public with that. Extraordinary scenes here in Bondi as the police have now designated this a terrorist attack. 12 people dead, one of the alleged gunmen also dead, the other alleged gunman in hospital receiving treatment. At least 29 people have been taken to hospital with wounds, with injuries verging from serious to critical. The authorities said there that more people will have presented themselves to hospitals around the city. These ambulances here have been taking people to hospitals around the city, presumably because the local hospitals just can't cope with this many injured people from this shocking terror incident here in Bondi Beach on Sunday afternoon.
An attack on Jewish Australians is an attack on every Australian, and every Australian tonight will be, like me, devastated on this attack on our way of life. There is no place for this hate, violence and terrorism in our nation. Let me be clear, we will eradicate it. The evil that was unleashed at Bondi Beach today is beyond comprehension, and the trauma and loss that families are dealing with tonight is beyond anyone's worst nightmare. Australians have had their lives cruelly stolen and many have been injured. For all Australians, our first thoughts are with those in the terrible early hours of their grief.
Very angry that something like this happened in Australia.
It's hard to believe.
Disappointing. A Jewish event where terrorists and murderers, went to kill Jewish people celebrating Hanukkah. It's just unbelievable that in Australia this is allowed to happen. We're supposed to be the lucky country. We're supposed to be a country where people are allowed to express their religion freely, and where something like this happens is unbelievable.
Guys, I feel horrible. I have no husband. I don't know where is his body. Nobody can give me any answer. That's it.
Your husband was killed in the attack?
Yes. Yes.
Is he here? Did they bring him to St Vincent's? Or
No, not
you don't
here.
know? You haven't been able to find out?
No.
How are you feeling right now, all of you?
Don't even
In
know.
shock. Thank you so
Surreal.
much for your time.
Still, he's in the hospital and we don't know exactly what's going inside. But they said the doctor, he's very okay. And next 2 hours, they let us to go in and see Ahmed because he's still inside and he do the operation. But we hope he will be fine. He's a hero, 100%. He's a hero because what we see on the social media, he's 100% hero.
Shoulder?
Yeah, he have 2 shots, one in his arm here and one in his hand.
And have you been able to talk to him today?
No, because I come when I see what's happening, and I come here to see him. But they said he's not allowed to go inside because he have to make an operation, whatever. I'm still waiting to see him.
We have progressed at pace overnight with that investigation, and as a result of investigations undertaken, I can say that we are not looking for a further offender. We are satisfied that there were 2 offenders involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased, the second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased, the 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted 2 search warrants last night, one at Bondi Rig and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him. We are satisfied that we have 6 firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi. We will continue to investigate this matter thoroughly. It's important for the community to have the reassurance that New South Wales Police, working with our Commonwealth partners, will not stop until we understand the reasons behind this senseless incident and take any available action that we need to do.
Well, we know that there were only 2 attackers. The police had earlier said there might be a third. They've said that's not the case now. Father and son, 50-year-old father, he's dead, shot at the scene on the bridge where they began that attack, literally firing about point-blank range, almost 70 yards away from that gathering for first night of Hanukkah, just about to light the first candle on the menorah. And that's when they say, people in that crowd say, that's when the gunman started firing. And then, as you saw, that man comes forward, one of the gunmen comes off the bridge, he's tackled, he's disarmed, but he goes back to the bridge. And what we've learned from the police now, that the man who was tackled was the 50-year-old father. He, according to police, had a firearms license, which is pretty tough to get in Australia. The police say that he had 6 weapons, and we could see at least 3 of those weapons, at least 3, in the social media video that came out of the attack. All those 3 weapons appear to be long rifle-type weapons, perhaps shotgun-type weapons that they had, but the police say they'd recovered all 6 of those firearms that were registered to the father, the 24-year-old son in hospital in critical condition. One of the big takeaways for me watching that police press conference was a question from a journalist. The police had found the vehicle. It had 2 IEDs in it, rudimentary, the police say, but the journalist asked the question about an apparent ISIS flag being found at that vehicle. Now, the police wouldn't comment on that. They didn't deny it, but they wouldn't comment it. They said the investigation was ongoing, and the focus of their investigation, they said, was to find out what motivated this father and son to mount this horrendous attack on what was supposed to be a beautiful celebration.
Sydney-siders and indeed Australians woke up this morning in a state of shock and despair at the awful events that unfolded on Bondi Beach last night. 15 people shot dead, 2 shooters taking to a Hanukkah celebration. One of those shooters was himself killed by police at the scene. So 15 victims of this shooting so far. There are 27 patients right now in hospital. 6 of those are critically ill, 6 of those are critical but stable. 2 police officers who raced into the line of fire were also badly injured. They are both in a critical condition as well. The ages of the victims range from 10 to 87. As for the shooters, they were a father and a son. The father, as I said, was shot dead at the scene, a 50-year-old. His son, 24 years of age. The father had 6 guns legally in his possession. A number of raids occurred across Sydney in the immediate aftermath of that shooting. A number of arrests were made as well. It was declared a terror incident by our authorities here. That means that the Joint Counter-Terrorism Task Force will take over this operation and investigation. That means police from here in New South Wales as well as Australian Federal Police. This is the worst shooting incident in this country since the Port Arthur massacre nearly 30 years ago. That led to widespread gun reform in this country, and today the Premier of New South Wales, Chris Minns, hinted that further gun reform could well be on the way as a result of this massacre.
I'm here in the western Sydney suburbs outside what is believed to be a house connected to the Bondi Beach shooting. As you can see, there's a police presence behind me, and police have cordoned off the area. Earlier in the day, I saw a forensics team enter the property. Residents that I've been speaking with all morning describe this place as a place of community, a place where children play in the front yard, where dogs go on walks. There's a lot of elderly people that lived here, a lot of retired couples. There's a school nearby. You know, many of them were watching these scenes at Bondi unfold on television when they heard the police raids just outside. They described the chaos of that raid, you know, the helicopters, the sirens, the drones. This lasted till about 12:30 in the morning. A lot of them described feeling so scared that they were tossing and turning all night. They couldn't sleep. Many of them were in disbelief. One resident I spoke with said that he usually sleeps with his windows open, but closed them last night because his children were scared. You know, there's just a sense of disbelief that this could have happened here in Sydney.
This tragedy that's befallen the Jewish community here in Bondi has taken the lives of 15 people. The youngest person among those victims, just 10 years old, a little girl called Matilda. The oldest person among that group, an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor called Alex, who moved from Ukraine to Australia after the Second World War to try for a more peaceful life. And he died on Sunday in an anti-Semitic terrorist attack. 2 gunmen standing on a bridge shooting down into a Hanukkah festival where children, families, the elderly were all there to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah. It's the second night of Hanukkah tonight, and behind me is a vigil instead of a celebration because the Jewish community here is in mourning.
follow breaking news out of Sydney, Australia, where the death toll is now at 15 after 2 suspected attackers opened fire at a Hanukkah celebration. Now, this happened at Sydney's Bondi Beach on Sunday. Police say the suspects include a 50-year-old father who was killed at the scene and his 24-year-old son.
I know what I saw. I saw him shoot the gun and it just all hell broke loose. There's just people everywhere, kids screaming, people screaming.
Now, you're looking at some video that may be disturbing. I want to give you a minute. Witnesses actually captured the moments that a bystander helped stop the attack. He wrestles a gun away from one of the alleged shooters.
All Australians stand together against that attack. The police who were there standing together against the attackers, first responders standing together against the attackers, and even a bystander like Ahmed standing there, putting their own lives at risk against those attackers.
CNN's Angus Watson joins us live from Sydney this morning. So, Angus, what more can you tell us actually about the victims? I want to start there.
Audie, this tragedy that's befallen the Jewish community here in Bondi has taken the lives of 15 people. The youngest person among those victims, just 10 years old, a little girl called Matilda. The oldest person among that group, an 87-year-old Holocaust survivor called Alex, who moved from Ukraine to Australia after the Second World War to try for a more peaceful life. And he died on Sunday in an anti-Semitic terrorist attack. 2 gunmen standing on a bridge shooting down into a Hanukkah festival where children, families, the elderly were all there to celebrate the first night of Hanukkah. It's the second night of Hanukkah tonight, and behind me is a vigil instead of a celebration because the Jewish community here is in mourning, Audie.
We've seen something here that we rarely see, which is attackers being stopped by a bystander. Can you tell us more about what happened there and the latest into the investigation?
This is absolutely extraordinary video that's come out of this attack, Audie. So we see a bystander by the name of Ahmed Al-Ahmed. He approaches, he sneaks up towards the gunman, tackles him, takes his gun away, and then points it at him and defends his community. Now, he got shot too by the attackers in this horrific terrorist incident Sunday afternoon, and he was hospitalized. But authorities have just released this picture of him sitting up in bed with the leader of the New South Wales Parliament, State Premier Christopher Minns, there in hospital, praising him as a hero. Ahmed Al-Ahmed, whose parents came to Australia from Syria as refugees. He's a father as well, putting his life on the line to save people that he perhaps didn't even know that day. Yesterday, willing to put his life on the line for that. Now, of course, we know that there are 2 alleged gunmen in this incidents. One of them was killed at the scene. Another one is in hospital now. He'll be the focus of police investigations, of course, and police have raided 2 homes connected to these 2 men, a father and son duo, a 50-year-old and a 24-year-old man. That 50-year-old dead, his 24-year-old son in hospital now. 2 homes have been raided. The place that they stayed just before they carried out the attack the night before, and their family home, Audie.
And before we begin, however, I want to just pay my respects to the people. Unfortunately, 2 are no longer with us. Brown University, 9 injured, and 2 are looking down on us right now from heaven. And likewise in Australia, as you know, that was a terrible attack, 11 dead, 29 badly wounded. And that was an anti-Semitic attack, obviously. And I just want to pay my respects to everybody. I must say in Syria also, we had an attack in Syria, and we had 3 great patriots terminated by bad people. And not the Syrian government, it was ISIS. Syrian government fought by our side. The new president fought by our side. But I just want to pay my respects to the families. We also had 3 injured, but 2 of them are already out of the hospital, and one's going to be okay. But we lost 3, so it was a rough day.